Hey guys, it's Ruby. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today we're here with Lou Robson, and we're all very aware that in British dressage it's not just warm bloods competing. There's lots of variety of different horses, and that's why we're here today to take a look at the retraining of racehorses and actually how, you know, they become and join the dressage world after their previous jobs. So what is it that you do?
So I retrain racehorses.
Yeah.
So I take horses that have either come direct from the trainer and turn them into dressage horses, or we possibly have horses that have stumbled across a training issue. So we have horses that, you know, some people struggle with right canter, really common with former racehorses.
Yeah.
So they come here for a bit of training or education and help, and then they go back home. But I compete horses all the way through from the very lowest level to the highest level on horses that aren't bred to do the job, so which is amazing.
And how did you actually get into and finding your way into retraining of these racehorses?
Fully honestly, is that I've come from a place of no money. So my parents don't have money, so it started off with horses that were on loan, and a bit of a name drop, but my first loan horse, or my second loan horse, was from Her Majesty the Queen. And it kind of grew from there. So how do I take horses that aren't bred for the job? I love dressage. And how do I basically train a horse, or train the horse that I have in front of me? And then I did university, and then I went off to Germany to train with Monica Theodorescu, who's now a head German coach, and I was her warm-up rider, and she said to me, "You're very good at training horses that maybe aren't so straightforward." And I got on with the thoroughbred, and I came home, and I started buying a few thoroughbreds because, again, they were cheap and readily available, and then it grew. Like thoroughbred dressage just grew.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously it's so important for people to know that the horse's career doesn't just stop after racing, and that they have a whole life beyond that in, you know, well, dressage here, but I'm sure there's different ways, like through eventing and show jumping and stuff like that. So the big question is, do your horses, do they have a time after you train them, or do you keep them all?
Oh, they all stay here. I am a full-fledged, I always say, maybe we'll find a new home for that one. They just stay here. We have one here that he is 26 years old, and I knew him when he was 3, and he did actually go off and find a new home. He went off for a few homes, and when he was 16, he somehow found his way back into my life, and someone said to me, "We're moving and we don't know what we're going to do with him." So I bought him back for £5, and he's still here at 26 years old, and he's a retired horse, and he looks after my other horse in the field for me. So the horses even come home, which is lovely. But
like
I collect. I collect.
Amazing. So shall we go have a little look?
You can come and meet the ponies.
So who is this handsome man here?
So this is Saint Gregoire, better known as Greg. He is 14 years old. He won £95,000 on the track. He's a flat horse. He's quite tall for a flat horse. And he was predominantly run over the mile. So he is part of the Godolphin Lifetime Care Programme, which I am I suppose involved with. So I go over to Godolphin once a month to do a bit of teaching, and I get involved with their events. So we have him, and we have another horse called Minobo from the Godolphin Lifetime Care Programme. So Greg is currently advanced medium level, which for a racehorse is pretty good going. Because you know, we're kind of looking at the stage where they start to sit and push. Everything a racehorse isn't built to do, like staying uphill. But we love Greg. Greg's really, really cool. We love Greggy.
How long have you had him now?
So he'll stick his tongue out at you. I've had Greg 7 years, I think. 7 years, maybe 8 years. 7 years, maybe 8. I always forget how long I've had him. He's been here a while. But he's really, really cool. But he finished racing because he got colic. So he had colic surgery. And I'd already had one of the Godolphin horses called Dubai Prince. And sadly, he passed away. And they were struggling to rehome him because he's quite big. And he is a character. He thinks everything's funny. And he wasn't, at the time, eligible for the ROR series because he'd only ran abroad. But I didn't care about that. I was looking for a new dressage horse. And so Greg came to join the clan.
How do you source the racehorses, and how did you get involved with the Godolphin?
So Godolphin, I met someone that worked for them at a horse show, as you do, in the lorry car park.
A little natter.
And you bond over what's your horse doing. And I said to the person, I like former racehorse, and she said, "I work for Godolphin. Would you possibly come and start helping us, seeing if they could do other things?" Mainly because she'd also seen me being bounced across the car park on my current horse I was sat on. But then that kind of grew, and with Godolphin, they are basically what I call the ultimate responsible owners. So they have them, so they might breed them and keep them all the way through. But the main thing is that once they finish racing, most of the horses actually come back to Newmarket from all over the world, which is incredible. But they have full lifetime care. Yeah. So they go home and they get retrained, and it's what do they want to do? And it's always their health and happiness is always paramount and at the forefront of it. So some of them actually go into companion homes, some go hacking, some go on to stay in sport, but the majority of them stay as basically low-level all-rounders, which is great. But these horses have been so successful, and yet there's still another life for them past the post, which is amazing. And
in British dressage events, are there any competitions around the racehorses, or
so there's the associated championships, which are just dedicated to either there's a thoroughbred class and a retraining of racehorses class, which is great because then it encompasses those that have raced and those have mainly been in training, because some of them haven't actually made it down to the start. But the nice thing also with dressage is that these guys obviously compete alongside the top horses and the top, very well-bred horses, and it doesn't mean that you're at a disadvantage, because I think some people take on a former racehorse and then they compare between the thoroughbred and the warm blood, which is actually really unfair on both horses. And I'm like, no, you've got to celebrate the journey that you're on with your horse, and actually without being potentially either rude condescending, is that these guys have normally won more money than most Grand Prix horses in this country.
I mean, these guys are part of the royal family.
So we have these guys, and then I also have horses from His Majesty the King, so we have full royalty here. But even if they aren't owned by royalty, there's always a possibility, and I think it's so impressive when you see these horses, like you've ridden out before as well, so you appreciate what the transition these horses go through. So to even trot down a centre line is a really big achievement, and I think we have to always remain focused on that.
And it's so nice that British dressage actually does do that accessibility, because of course you can, they can compete in all the classes, but it's also nice that they have classes to be able to highlight the racehorses and let them have their own time to shine, if that makes sense, in their own championship.
No, it's so lovely. And I think it's such a bonding community experience as well for the riders, because then they all get to share their journey. They you find camaraderie in that as well, because quite a few of the riders get disheartened because their horse reacts to loudspeakers or, the tension has got to them, because you probably experience it with the warm bloods where the atmosphere actually makes them move better because they get that positive tension. These guys, when they get tense, it's negative tension. And you never know how it's going to go. So sometimes you feel as a rider, I'm failing, and you're not failing. It's just what your horse is going through. So actually then when you're in a class full of people feeling like that, you kind of all bond together and actually you can help each other. Sometimes it can feel quite lonely. And it's really, really lovely.
So we're now tacking up our good friend Greg, who's slowly escaping his stable. But of course, I've got so many questions, because it's so interesting, knowing about these racehorses and how they, you hear loads and loads and loads about them actually racing and stuff. You don't really hear about their career afterwards, but it's so, reassuring to know that the owners and that they do take responsibility for that kind of after career as well. And do you just get, flat races, or what racehorses do you get?
So I get a mixed bag. So we've got, he's obviously flat. Minobo, which is the other one from Godolphin, he's flat. But he won £95,000. Moby, we call Minobo Moby. Moby won 395,000, and he was second in the Dubai World Cup, I think that's correct. And then we've had horses that are from the jumps. So Forthbridge is a national hunt horse. He's won £93,000 over the jumps, and he just fell out of love of racing. So they leave racing for a variety of reasons as well. So he had colic. Moby fell out of love, William fell out of love, Cordy got injured. So it doesn't really matter, again, how they leave. But with the likes of Forthbridge and with Minobo, they just fell out of love with racing, and their owners did the right thing by them. Instead of saying,
it's nice that they don't push them.
Exactly. They want a life, they want the long life. They don't want the win. They want to obviously do well, and the owners like to win, but the horse always comes first. And it's in racing, and the prize money's bigger, and the want to win is huge. You breed a racehorse because you'd like them to win.
Absolutely.
So then say actually they've done enough is a really lovely thing to have as a retrainer, that the owner has always loved and put this horse's care first and foremost. Cordy, once he'd had his injury, a lot of trainers were desperate for him to go back in. He was a Derby hopeful, and the Queen never won the Derby, but she was adamant that he was done and he was finished and he was to have a sound, happy life. So I mean, I love responsible ownership, and I think it's phenomenal when it happens at every single level with these horses.
I just love the fact they're more travelled than me. I mean, I want to go to Dubai. Do you ever get the temptation as well just to go around the field and go, oh, let's have a go?
I don't know. It is mad. Like I said, he's been on a plane, Moby's been on a plane, and they've gone everywhere, but we do go cantering around the fields. Like, we do go, it's just...
And do you ever feel like they have the instinct to then want to gallop?
No,
or they just
they're very,
happy, good life?
The nice thing with these guys, in racing, it's all about relaxation, which actually is then we transfer that into the ring work, trying to keep them relaxed. So when they're out cantering, we've got 400 acres here. So if they do take
I want to come here.
you can come for a canter. If they do take a pull and they do go for a run, we've got a while to pull up. But at the same time, they're workmen when they're in racing. They're not just running around like a kid high on Skittles. So they get into that really good, lovely rhythmical canter, and you hear their breathing. It's like da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And they do that when they go back around the fields. And it's a bit of a myth of their feet touch grass and they go mad, which they don't. It's only if they get heightened, or you kind of tell them to send on, or you do something, as in you gather your reins up and then they go forward into the bridle. But they're actually real workman-like creatures, and to hack them, they're amazing. Like, against the warm bloods, these guys have got so many gears, and the warm bloods will be, we take the warm bloods cantering out behind the thoroughbreds, and like, we're kind of like, go, and they're done after the first.
What do I do with my legs?
They're like, we have 2 gears and that's it, and you're like, go find a 5th gear, and they don't have it. But that's why these guys are athletic. They're so athletic and they're so capable, and when you sit on them, you really appreciate that athleticism when you're coming up the field, because you're like, whoa, this is really cool. And their stride length's incredible. And did you feel it when you went out and you rode out of that moment when they dropped into the gallop?
I think it was a proper, like, deep breath feeling, and the adrenaline was amazing, and it was actually really, like, the feeling when they got into that gap and they just stayed there, and the stride, but the consistency, and the length of that stride, but then they're really smart, as in they know when to pull up as well.
Did you feel them drop? You know, when you feel that drop, and you're like, where do they go? And you're like, well, when you hit the gallop, they go into gallop and they drop by about a foot to the floor, don't they? You're like, geez, and they extend out. But if you then put that into a context of then when you're trying to retrain them and someone says they need to be more of the back and push uphill, you're like...
That is the complete opposite of what they've ever had to do in their entire life. What do you actually find the hardest thing is when you're retraining the racehorses that they, in general, really struggle with?
Their balance. Because they're built predominantly on the forehand, they're always a bit creep high, and ultimately their body's bred to canter and gallop, which, again, if you think when you're buying a dressage horse,
he likes to touch your boots.
He's like, give me the sparkle. If you think you're looking for a good walk and a good canter, aren't you? These guys have already got that. But their dynamics and their balance is the wrong way round, so they kind of push up from the back legs rather than under. So it's their balance. When you're changing their balance, that's when you see them slightly struggle. But these guys are so trainable.
What do you find that you love the most about the racehorses when it comes to training them?
They're so smart. They're so smart. The problem is they're so smart. But
that's their greatest strength and their greatest weakness.
They are so smart. They understand concepts very, very quickly. So training them and allowing their body to catch up is really hard, because you could teach these horses anything within a week or 2. But their body's not ready. So it's how do you keep them entertained mentally whilst their body catches up?
Stimulation as well.
That's difficult. That is difficult, isn't it? He says, I don't know what you mean. There you go. See, like, he knows his job.
He does.
He goes around the back. So it sounds even silly, but like getting on them, they don't know about standing still to get on. If you think you get on a leg up on the go.
Yeah, because everything in racing, they just kind of jump on, they go, isn't it?
So even teaching them, like, so big part of my job in the early stages is doing mounting block work. So having the mounting block away from the corner, so they learn to go around and they learn to stand and they learn to hang out.
Do you feel are they quite naughty, the racehorses?
They're not naughty, as he decides to take you for a hat.
So just disappear into the distance.
They're not naughty. They just know their role and they know their job. So again, depending if they've been in racing for like 10 years, they know about having holidays, coming back into work. Like, that's how they know their life to be. So when you then, you know, have a racehorse and you get on them and you ask them to stand still and they don't stand, and then you have people coming in and trying to hold them and force them, they're not doing anything wrong. They just go, well, we get on the go. And that's where people have to understand them more. So like here we do like some educational days with the ROR, and we do like insight days and I do online webinars. So a lot of it is actually educating people.
Yeah.
Like, what do these horses experience? We have National Racehorse Week as well for Great British Racing, and that's really cool because trainers and retrainers open their doors up. And then it just, again, it educates people as to what these horses, how they transition and what we're asking of them.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it with these guys, it's a mental game.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they've got to understand riders being on around them.
Yeah,
They're used to riders being above them, not sat in and down and around.
And it must be such a weird feeling for them when a dressage rider gets on there suddenly, like, starting to be asked to shape up and stuff.
Yeah,
that must
leg
be
to
so
hand.
unnatural.
Leg to hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because especially when I went racing, it was very much when they go, you have to go with them.
Yeah, you go with
There's
them.
no stopping. And then suddenly for them to be asked, hang on, you've got to respect my seat and come here. They must be like, what?
No, and then you have people saying they must listen to my weight aids. What the heck is that?
Yeah. Yeah, because weight aid is that way. It's all out the front.
So if you think of it like they are learning a new language. So like if you were like, did you learn a language at school?
Somewhat.
Right, okay. So when you first started learning that language, did your teacher make you learn the alphabet first?
Well, I was learning more what's in my pencil case.
Oh, okay, fine. So but it was like you
all the important things in life.
So do you think how, without being, again, rude, how simple you would try to make it so you could understand a word?
Yeah.
That's what you've got to think of with these guys.
Yeah.
So you've got to think that we are creating a new language, like how we use the leg, how we use the rein and what that means. So when they stick their neck in the air, it's not their fault. It's just what their body tells them to do.
Yeah.
And that's where we have to be really sympathetic and listen to what these horses are doing, telling us. And again, it's their balance.
Yeah.
And where they're used to having the rein and the hand and the leg and, you know, just taking time with them. Time. So, Ruby, how are you feeling?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Well, talk to me about the differences. So talk to me about like what you're feeling like in terms of like we can compare between warm blood and thoroughbred.
He's actually not very strong.
No.
Which is nice. Obviously, like, he can feel like he's got quite a long neck and body and he'd love to pull forward there. But like, he's actually quite... When you do ask him to sit up, he does respect it.
Yeah. Do you feel that slight, you know, we were talking about their body and the way they are put together to gallop. Can you feel that when you get that slight tilt into his shoulders?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, he just wants to go down, doesn't he? He's not then running. And it's also the way in which you use the leg. Because obviously if you put both legs on, they're just going to tilt into their shoulders naturally. So it's like with these guys, it's a bit almost like one leg and one rein at any given time. So it's that kind of pick up, put down. Can you feel that?
Yeah.
And then it makes you, so you just, it's a new conversation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you can probably feel when you put the leg on, he wants to go onto the shoulder and the hand.
Yeah.
There you go. And it's harder for him to lift his wither up, isn't it? Like, you probably feel it on your warm bloods. You put your leg on, the hind leg comes under and they come more uphill, whereas he goes the other way, doesn't he? That's
but
better there.
He definitely feels like he has like a lovely swing.
Yeah. Would you have believed that he used to be a miler and that he's won 95 grand on the track?
I know, yeah. Literally, I'm like riding royalty.
That's better. But can you feel like what I love about them, which is their responsiveness? Like you press with the leg and you think it and he does it.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like there's no delay.
Yeah.
But like I feel with them sometimes I have to ride, not every stride in a bad way, but I've got to be so mentally on it all the time.
Yeah.
Because can you feel like we're talking about with the balance? The balance is like there and then it's not there and then it's there and then it's not there.
Yeah.
There you go, lovely. How does he feel to the contact? Because thoroughbreds are notorious for having a very bad contact.
No, it feels good.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like, I've never ridden a racehorse before, so I didn't know what to expect. But he feels like he's been schooled really nicely.
Thanks. I'll take that.
No, he does.
Right, do you want to have a walk and then we can have a canter?
Yeah.
Cool. Ooh. So, Ruby, as you're walking around now, can you feel what the thoroughbred is bred for, which is their walks?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like, you what, ×2 in a dressage test is all about you walking?
Exactly.
I mean, that's got an overtrack of quite a lot.
Yeah. And that's what I love about my stallion and Cracker as well, because you feel like you can go into the walk, and lots of people lose like 2% in the walk, but to have that feeling that I can go into the walk and actually gain 2%.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling.
Yeah. The only downside with these guys is because they're not built to naturally bend their joints. So you know when we love a walk pirouette, don't we?
Yeah.
We like walk pirouettes are.
So, I actually think they are the bane of my life.
So when you then take a horse that's got a walk like his, and you probably have it with Cracker, the
When you
walk
try and
pirouette can be a
collect it.
challenge because it's keeping that rhythm, isn't it?
Yeah.
But keeping the step. Whereas I'm guessing with your stallion, he bends his joints, whereas these guys don't naturally bend. So in a good racehorse, you want them to be straighter in the joint, because otherwise when you put that into a galloping action on harder ground, they get tendon issues.
Yeah.
So when we do walk pirouettes with these guys, trying to keep the rhythm and the bending of the joint and the suppleness and the turn.
Yeah.
I mean, we all hate a walk pirouette at the best times.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I feel like sometimes, like, the big walks can sometimes be the hardest as well, because then to collect that really long stride, and that's with Cracker, he really struggles to then create a small stride.
Yeah, and rhythm.
Yeah.
And keep the rhythm and keep the step keep it all and keep the same walk the whole way around.
Yeah.
Because they'll kind of go a bit quick, slow, long, short. Yeah, well, at least you experienced the same on the warm bloods as I do on the thoroughbreds. That's fine. Okay, Ruby, tell me how you're feeling about this canter. Go on, tell me, how do you feel the canter is? Just soften your wrist.
I feel like this is going to be very, very good for my core muscles. You can definitely feel that hind leg.
Yeah.
And it's quite bumpy.
Yeah.
And you can understand why they want to fall on the front end, because I mean,
so just give him an inch of rein. So the hardest thing on a pulling horse is actually to allow them.
Yeah.
So with him, if you give him an inch of rein, and instead of putting more leg on him, because what you're feeling is that hind leg coming up, so his natural dynamics happening. So what I want you to do with him down the next long side, just quietly, only a couple of steps, all right, is just almost leg yield off your outside leg a bit. So the temptation with these horses is to put them down on their hocks. Yeah. But they're not built to sit. So what you've got to do is think transfer the weight from the shoulders to his hips. Does that make sense? So just pick up the canter again from walk, just wait, outside rein, there you go, lovely. Super canter transition. So just quietly, no faster, just from the track, leg your 2-3 strides off your outside leg, keep the neck straight, just breathe, steady, slow down, 1, let go, 2, there you go, and then soften. Good, same again. Did that feel less bumpy when you put a little bit sideways? Did that feel less bumpy, Ruby? Yeah. Okay, like here, when it gets a bit long, like there, just outside rein, outside leg, 2-3 strides of leg, you'll wait, chill, soften. Yeah, good, and allow. Better? Yeah. Good, same again. So again, you know, like I was saying to you, like, it's really easy to keep riding them forward and straight, but it causes their natural dynamics to happen. Go the other way, so outside, chill, wait, slow, steady. Steady, outside rein, give, wait. There you go. And then just see if you can quietly turn it into a little, just do a circle, just again, where you feel it gets a bit quick, just do a circle, come around, and then just ride him into a little bit of a half pass across. Outside rein, just soften, keep his ears level, keep his shoulders level. Outside rein, that's it, soften your inside hand. There you go, that's it. Just guide him around for a half pass. Steady, breathe. Steady, give, slow down. 1, half halt, steady. 2, steady, give, let go. There, good. Let go, that's it, and then turn. Good, same again. Just soften your inside wrist a little bit. That's it, there you go. Just try a half pass again. Just outside, just think, wrap the outside part of his body around you. So outside rein, outside leg, steady, outside. There you go, and then straight, pat him. Good. How did that feel? Yeah, lovely. Yeah? Right, try a trot and go the same the other way. Just have a break step. Slow. He's like, I'm going. 10 metre circle. Now he's trying. Good boy. He's like, I'm a racehorse, baby. He's like, off I go. Good boy for Greg. Good lad. You feel okay? Yeah. It's just getting all that power to chill. Yeah. Like, yeah, it's fine. Definitely. Just turn and don't pull the inside rein. So just outside leg to turn, sit, don't pull, slow down. Now look up, right leg back, steady, lovely. There you go, a little bit late behind, pat him. Good boy, there you go. There you go. Right, change road, do the same the other way again. You okay? Yeah. Are you breathing? Yeah. Okay, so just change the rein, just trot him through the change rein this way, because his left to right's a little bit weaker. Because most racehorses are very good cantering left, but because they've ran left, they suck at right canter. Yeah. So when we change from left to right, that's normally the weaker side. So just change the rein back to the right. You can just let him go forward. I might go walk to canter, because then I think I get into a better forward and trot. Let him go forward. Just let the trot go forward. Okay. Do you feel like I need the canter a bit quicker? No, you need it smaller. Yeah, smaller. Okay. Or you could ride like your 98 Serpentine.
So the smaller the canter, the better.
Yeah, but not backwards.
Okay.
So active, but not with a lot of leg. And you're going, how on earth do I create activity without leg? Just let the change come to you. I tell you what, do the other one. Do a Serpentine. Okay, I'll do your first third of a Serpentine. So you know, like the advanced medium 98. Yeah. Just sit, outside leg to turn. So just don't panic. To turn, outside leg to turn. You're too fast. Look straight, look up. Just look up. Don't, they go, wait, that. So there you go.
Good boy.
Good.
Fancy racehorse.
Yeah. Let him have a walk
with me, Greggy.
There you go. Let him have a walk. Let him have a think. Tell him he's a good boy. Because again, you can probably feel that canter gets a little bit quick afterwards. So again, it's controlling the mental brain so that we don't get panicked. Just let him walk, breathe. So we all think about it. We take a breath.
Good boy.
There you go. Just walk. Good. Change room back. So I'll do the same again. Right. There you go. Are you okay?
Yeah. All good. Good boy.
It doesn't need to be too big. And there we go. Lovely. And then he sits in that first stride, yeah?
Yeah.
So again, through your turn, just keep him straight in the rein and just turn off your outside leg. Don't pull the rein short. So just outside turn, just quietly on, off, sit. Now look straight. Just look straight. Look straight. There you go.
Good lad.
Perfect. And then let him walk. Give him a massive fuss. Easy peasy.
He is. He's like, I like cats. Oh, you can definitely tell he's so happy.
He is,
and like loves his job. Like he just walks around like like in his own little world. And you just tell how happy he is just to be doing all of this. And he wants, like, even though I was giving like the questions I was giving him, he was a bit like, what to do with? Like, what is this foreign language he's trying to tell me? And then, but he tried so hard to give the right answer. So even though I wasn't asking for the change as best as my ability, like he tried so hard to give the right answer. And then he's just so happy.
He's so proud of himself, isn't he? He's so gleeful.
He's like, I pull up with you and I did a good job about it.
Can you see though, it's that less is more approach with these guys. It's so hard to not put your own ego in front of them because we want to achieve, we want them to do, but it's so hard to be like, what are you capable of? But the main thing is that they remain happy athletes the whole way through, and we listen to them, because I've had some horses that can't do the flying change. That's fine. They're just not built, they can't do it. But you probably have that with the warm bloods too. So, but like I said, he is one of the happiest souls on the planet, and all I want him to do is remain happy at all stages. And he loves going to shows, he loves like meeting people, pulling bobble hats off people's heads, dragging wheelie bins around, like it's great. But as long as he stays that happy character, that's my main thing.
And I really appreciate you for like letting me ride him and stuff, because he's so good for me to ride a different horse. And like as well, like obviously like he wants to go downhill, it's so good for me to learn like, no, you've got to ride with a forward hand. And like it's just like different ways, and it's just
it's so hard, isn't it? Because you're fighting your own mental being.
Yeah, because you want to be like, no, come here, sit up. And it's actually, like you said, in some ways, like you got to have that kind of forward, that slightly longer rein, that forward hand to let them settle into it at first. Instead of micromanaging to begin with, you kind of got to let them settle a bit. And
you can't then say to them, come here, sit on the hind leg. Like you just can't do it because they're not built to do it. And that's when you probably felt him get a bit tight on a few occasions. But it's so hard because your brain goes, no, gather them. And like you said, you've got to allow.
Yeah, because that's my whole life, is trying to go and then like shorten my reins. And it's actually nice to then, it's a completely different approach, but then you can feel like it really works.
Yeah. Could you feel also when you slightly adjusted your weight, even just sit, he was like, yeah, cool. Yeah. But that's where these guys is, so their sensitivity is their superpower.
Yeah.
But their sensitivity can also be, like you said before, it's like their best thing and worst thing. Yeah. Is that if you're in the wrong mood or you're not listening to them properly, things can go wrong.
Yeah, definitely.
Good boy, Greggy.
What I'm really impressed about, because obviously I came here and I had no idea what to expect. I've never sat on a racehorse except for when I went galloping, and that's, again, there's a different type of riding. I just didn't know what to expect, because you kind of expect racehorses. I just expected them to be really horizontal and just really straight, and I wasn't expecting, like it's really nice to feel in the half pass, like he does bend and he really does soften around your leg and everything, and that's so, and obviously like, I can imagine that's probably quite hard for them as well.
Really, really hard, because again, they're not built to actually lift
bend their ribcage,
and lift up their back to carry you. Does that make sense? So they're not built to step under and lift. They're built to sink in the middle. So when we're always talking about, more supple bend and more over the back, you're like, well, the more leg I put on, the more they pull their back down.
Absolutely.
And like we're talking about the activity, but he's really cool because like you're probably feeling like he might be a bit like IKEA flat pack, where he goes a bit wooden and a bit stiff. And in the early days, like when he was unbalanced, it took me 2 years to be able to canter this horse on a 20-metre circle, because he would pull and he would lean and he would grab the rein, but he was just so unbalanced. And like you said, first off in the canter, like, oh, this is really wobbly and bouncy, because his bottom pushes up so high. But he's really cool, because with most thoroughbreds, actually, when you put them sideways, they actually become more expressive and they stay up off the floor, and that's where they've got these really good canters and this really good walk, and you can develop the trot. But he is I adore this horse, because he tries so hard and he's really built the wrong way for the job that he does, which is credit to him.
I bet you must find with the racehorses, because it's like, it's the exact opposite of what their body is made for. The ones that try, we probably feel like get the furthest.
Do you know what, to be fair, all of my horses that have got to his level and higher, when I first met them, never thought they could. And it just shows the beauty in training. Whereas I've had some horses that move really, really, really well, and I'm like, you're going to be amazing.
You're going to be my megastar.
You're going to be my megastar. And then it doesn't work out, because they just, for some reason, it just doesn't. And actually, he's probably the most expressive out of my advanced horses that are thoroughbreds. But the others are quite plain, but actually they've become more beautiful with training. So, which again is just testament to, although they're built the wrong way, their heart, they try so hard for us. And you know, I fall over my own feet on my own base, and I appreciate where these guys come from. And you know, I just think there's something about
the Petri boots.
He loves the Petri. He wants the shine, he wants the bling. But yeah, I don't feel like you get this in many, I could be really mean, but I don't feel like you get this in many other breeds of this. I'm not built to do it, and I try so hard. And I just, this is where these guys are magical. Super magical.
And what are your aims for Ken?
So he is qualified for advanced medium winter regionals for the freestyle. So with him, the main thing is his confidence, as with all my horses. So he's got that change from, was it right to left? The left to right is still a bit green. But instead of putting him in a test scenario, I ride the freestyle so that I can school him through the patterns where he's happiest at home. So he'll do the winter regionals at advanced medium, and then I'm hoping the PSG, the tails, will come out next year. Like the canter pirouettes are very good with him. So that'll be the aim. And I think the PSG and possibly the Inter One, and we'll see where he goes. But equally, if he can't do it, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. As long as he's happy and healthy, that's my main focus.
And it's nice that you like accept that, because like not a horse, like it's so physically hard for them. It's nice to be like, you know, like you put them first, because obviously you must have like your ambitions to be, I really want to do it. And it's nice that you go, you know what, it's not for you. Let's do what you're comfortable and keep going there.
So Quad Drill, he's owned by the King. He is Inter 2 level. He is
proper royalty, isn't it? We're getting that top royalty.
He is like that far off Grand Prix. That far. He can do the ones, he can do the Piaffe, he can do the Passage. Now, if I trusted him around a Grand Prix, that would be for me, not for him. And I know that if I did a Grand Prix with him, I might break him physically and he might struggle mentally, because everything comes up so quickly. And I don't agree with that personally. I want to keep him, he's 18, he's never been lame a day in his life, and I want him to be happy and retired into his late 20s. And that is where I have to remove my own wants for the benefit of the horse. And so these guys tell me what they want to do. And I'm very fortunate that, you know, I've got many horses I can ride, because if I had one horse, I'd probably be a bit more like, oh, maybe I'll give it a go. But no, it's them first, me
I feel like
third.
I do believe, like, if you have that way of thinking, you're probably going to get further with lots of horses, because they're probably, like my mum says, like with horses, there's only so much goodwill in them, and you don't want to suck it all up. But I feel like if you kind of wait for them and you only go 5, I feel like there's going to be one that goes that.
Maybe. Who knows? I'm not getting any younger, but who knows? Maybe one day. But equally, if it never comes off, it never comes off. And do you know what? I get to be part of these horses' journeys. And that is amazing, because like, again, not many other horses have either won the same amount of money when they trot down a centre line, and I get to celebrate these horses all the time. I get to be like, this is so cool, I'm part of your journey. Like, you've travelled around the world racing, and now we're going to trot down many a centre line. And you know, I have really fortunate opportunities of, like, I get to go and do demos in amazing places. I went to Kensington Palace this year, and I was trotting around the centre of London at a massive golf sale. It was so gorgeous, and I was like, these guys have actually given me access to this and this possibility. So, you know, the best way to pay that forward and say thank you is to look after them and listen to them at every stage. So, you know, we want them to be happy athletes all the time.
You can have extra treats because you're so special. Look how long his neck is. It's like, oh, good boy. So if you had, your own Greg, your own racehorse at home, is there any support out there for getting any help and stuff?
So the Retraining of Racehorses website is your place to start, or the Retraining of Racehorse Facebook group. So they kind of break up the UK into different regions, so you can type in ROR Midlands or ROR Southeast, and on there they have clinics and also online webinars, which are also on foot as well as with your horse. So if you don't have access to transport, which lots of us don't, it means you can still get the support, like just by going and learning. And they even have days where you can go and visit race yards and learn about how these guys are trained to help you understand them better. So again, it's like that continuation of welfare and that continuation of support the whole way through. And we are so fortunate, and if you want to compete these horses, we also have our own national championships, which is unheard of, and we get to go to Aintree. It's held at a race course, which for some can seem quite daunting, but we have so many opportunities with these horses, which the ROR do provide. So we are very, 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 very lucky. Very lucky.
Yeah. And it's nice that they provide that, help and support, because it looks like it's a really small, tight-knit community of these retraining racehorses. And it's nice that there's so many opportunities out there for, different types of riders and stuff to
take them on.
To come through and take them on.
Yeah, and it's like I see so many teenagers, so I see some of them in Pony Club as well, and I see them all the way through to slightly older ladies. But again, it's like it's not a one type suits all. It's they're horses at the end of the day, and it's making sure that every stage these horses are cared and looked after. So another nice thing of being part of the ROR is that if you are really struggling, these guys have an umbrella. So it's actually called the Vulnerable Horse Scheme. We don't want the horses to enter that because it means that they're in real trouble, but there is possibility and help and people and professionals. So there's access they can give you a phone number to a professional in your area to help you. So you are never alone with these horses. It might seem quite daunting and overfacing at times, especially coming into winter.
Spicy Greg.
But like I said, the main thing is there is always someone there, which again is very rare. Like if you have a Connemara pony, you don't have that. So I think that's where it's really cool to be part of this club.
And it must be and also like retraining racehorse, it must be like a different type of training. So it must be a lot of learning for people. So it's nice to have that support, because it must be a whole new type of experience
you felt it with Greg, didn't you? Just the way of going is different and how they balance themselves. So with their clinics, they use instructors that ride thoroughbreds, or they understand thoroughbreds. So again, you're not going to be asked to ride your thoroughbred in a way that isn't sympathetic to them.
Because there's such a different way to training warm bloods to then training like
these guys. It's just understanding you, isn't it?
I'm going to get my own Greg and go on the community of the ROR.
Best tell your mum.
I know. You're filling up the yard. Thank you so much for having us today, Lou. And massive credit to you. You felt so lovely and so soft, and it was such a good experience to come and have a lot of fun with Greg.
Well, thank you for coming. It really does mean a lot, and it's so nice. It's a privilege for someone like yourself to come and highlight these horses and make people see the positives of them, and the work, I guess, that people are putting into them, and the big umbrella that is Retraining of Racehorses. So thank you so much.
No worries. And it's so clear how much you really love these horses, and it's such a lovely little atmosphere here.
They are my world.
And I hope you guys all enjoyed today's YouTube video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Love ya. Bye.